Anything from any of the reviews here? I just want to read the statements in the documents so that you know there were complaints or discipline issued, that type of thing, and you guys can go and get that further on yourself if you'd like to.
And you're welcome to look at these after you finish this.
Yes. All right, the next one we're going to do is Chris Hartley. So as usual, the first thing we're going to do is look at his years of experience. Chris has a total of 3.44 years of experience as such. He was an auxiliary sheriff at NCSO from 4/1 of 98 to 3/29 of 92. So that's, I'm sorry, of 99. Sorry. So April the 1st of 98 to March the 29th of 99. That's a year. That's 1 year. That does include the academy that he attended down, I believe it was in St. Augustine Police Academy. Doesn't matter, he went to the academy, that's good. Then he was a part-time at NCSO here in Nassau County from 3/29 of 99 to 7/16 of 99 for a total of 0.30 years. He then transferred immediately, went full-time at the Fernandina Beach Police Department from 7/19 of 99 until 3/8 of 2000 for a total of 0.64 years. So now he's almost got a year of experience, and he's separated from law enforcement. I would say a year of experience as part-time and full-time. Of course, and don't forget the year he had as an auxiliary sheriff before that. Okay, now he's separated, and he was gone for 4 years. And then he rejoined NCSO on a part-time basis, and that was part-time from March the 5th of 2004 until September the 8th of 2005 for 1.51 years. So that encompasses his law enforcement experience. He is a graduate of Jefferson High School in Lafayette, Indiana. And I have no additional information on any additional degrees that he may have. There was nothing in his records at all that we pulled. So now we're going to go in and look at his files. First thing I'm going to talk about is a DUI that he received while he was a police officer. He joined the police department in Fernandina Beach Police Department on July the 19th of 99. On October the 29th of 99, 3 months after joining the PD, Chris Hartley was arrested for DUI in Glenn County, Georgia. This was on the 22nd of on the 22nd of January. The document that I have here shows that Chris pled guilty, and there was a 12-month sentence that was suspended upon payment of a fine and court costs. He paid $1,256 with special condition and instruction to reduce the offense to public drunk. So, that was provided he paid the fine within 2 weeks. So the document was signed by Judge Douglas, Judge State Court of Douglas County on January the 31st of 01. So, again, he does not have a DUI on his record. It was reduced to public drunk. All right, now I want to read you the last paragraph of the arrest documentation. This is case number 990329, which states, Mr. Hartley was released on bond. At no time during his arrest did Mr. Hartley dispute the belief that he was under the influence of alcohol. Rather, he expressed his opinion that I should let him go because of his position as a police officer. He stated that if he caught a police officer DUI, that he would just give him a ride home. So I thought that was something that we should bring up out of his record there. when we looked in his record of application to the sheriff's department, it said the case was dropped. And he was mistaken, or maybe he was implying that it being reduced is the same as dropped, but it's not. And so I just want to make that clear. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is a complaint and an affidavit from an 18-year-old girl. This happened, was it filed on March the 4th of 2000. I understand his last day of service was March the 7th, but he resigned on March the 8th. So this was shortly before he resigned from the police department. So Deborah, do you want to read that? Again, I'm not going to read all 4 pages of the complaint. Really serves no purpose. I just want to treat this the same as I've treated any of the other complaints. But the complaint here from a Jessica Tucker. She was 18 years old, and it happened with Chris Hartley at Sandy Bottoms. He was off duty and drinking. She was accused of drinking alcohol and using a fake ID. She did offer to take a sobriety test, which he didn't do, and he did investigate and ask lots of questions from the bartender and personnel there, and they confirmed what she was saying, that she did not drink. She said he searched my purse and car without my permission and found nothing illegal. And then the Street Crimes group was called. They checked her ID and found out her ID was valid. He told her that, quote, I was going to go to jail for impersonating a police officer. He said that I was telling everyone that I worked for the narcotics department. And he said that I should go to jail. She said she wasn't drinking. Later on page 3, he said, Danny said, I guess that was another officer at the time with Chris, said he was still taking me to jail. He threw his handcuffs on the table. I think Danny threw his handcuffs on the table. It was pretty, I don't know what I'm saying. And that proceeded to tell me that I was going to go to jail and would have to spend the night in county. They threatened to search my car, and that they said they were coming to my house with a warrant later that night. She said they searched her purse and her vehicle without her permission. They put me into my car, told me to never come back to Sandy Bottoms again. I said to them, fine. Told me to go home and wait because they were going to come search my house. I went home, they never showed up. Friday night, Chris Hartley called my home from Sandy Bottoms looking for his brother. Interesting. I told him that I didn't know where he was. Chris said, you know Nick's there, you lying bitch, and hung up. So throughout the rest of the night, I received harassing phone calls from Sandy Bottoms. Now, this was based on an incident that happened on March the 2nd, and the phone calls to her house on March the 3rd. She filed the affidavit, had it notarized and signed by the Ferndale Beach Police Department on March the 4th. Which 3 days later, he voluntarily left the police force. Now, that is that incident. I have one more incident here to report that happened during the last 3 days while he was with the police department. This was domestic violence. I'm not going to read the whole thing again. This happened on early Sunday morning, so Saturday night. Now it's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning on March the 5th. Quote, on the above listed time of date Z1, Mr. Hartley, Nick, that's his brother, called police in reference to an altercation which he had with his brother Chris inside Sandy Bottoms. When I arrived, Z1 stated to me that his brother Chris had struck him in the face with a beer bottle after an argument. So that was the offense incident report written by the Fernandina Beach Police Department. So 2 days after filing of the complete incident report on 3/5, Chris Headley completed his last day of work and resigned on 3/8. No further investigation or arrest was made. His resignation was voluntary and he was eligible for rehire at that time. So on that form, it is checked, I have it here, eligible for rehire, yes. And he did hold an exit interview. And that concludes.
Domestic violence cases are different today. You do get, in both cases, I think, that Whitland and